if you're talking about, let's remember the time of COVID. COVID affected human beings globally very, very badly. So when you look at the effect of COVID, if let's say we are portioning money to respond to needs, and we are saying, okay, it is true, it is true that we still have people dying of malaria. Malaria is still killing people. But COVID is also killing people. And we are allocating resources during COVID time. Where do we inject much money? You'll agree with me that all over the world, a lot of money was injected in response to curbing down the spread of COVID-19 at that particular time and nothing else. So to what extent does this particular problem affect people? So if I can, then I can show you the extent to which they are affected, then that means we are now progressing. This is not yet that kind of high profile, maybe this for beginner debate. And I think someone who is able to understand these basics is able to have a very, very good engagement every time they have a debate. I'll tell you, for the time I have been coaching debate, most of the students who have time to like listen to my sessions have never remained the same. They're very outstanding, and that for a very, it's on record. They've done exceptionally well. And I think then that I want to ensure that this kind of ground is given to every young person who engages in debate. However, the challenge is that I cannot eventually be in every place at every time. So I can't be online every now and again, training different people. Different students reach out. So I felt that it would be good for me to give this ground, you know, to the patrons, such that when they go to their schools, and then that means you can then have meaningful debate. It's very, very bad to be in a debate room where one team is exceptionally good, they're like at 90, and then the other team is like at 15. There won't be a very serious engagement. So, and that doesn't prove the quality of our debate. If effective or if good debate is held in one school, it does not challenge the other people. So they simply keep at that level and they don't grow. But when good debating is in every school, then there is going to be very stiff competition, and then you'll be able to have quality debates that you can like push out there to a global standard. That for me is the reason why I choose to engage patrons these days, because I know eventually these patrons are going to go back to their classes and train. Some years back, I used to go to schools and train debates. And then I reached a point and I'm like, no, I now need to train trainers to go to these places and, build up these kids. And I think for me, that is important. And that's why I gave up on going to classes. However, most cases, when students are back in holidays, I do online training, like how we have us here. Students from different schools, they just join the link and I train them. And when they go back to their schools, they're outstanding. They're quite different. It's not about having one school shining, dominating, winning year in, year out, but this is something that I want all of us collectively to work on. So number four, as we get to understand the extent in which people are affected or they're affected, it's important for us to appreciate and understand that there is nothing which is going to happen in this world for the first time. Even when it seems as if it is happening for the first time, something relatable has happened before. For example, when we are grappling with the issue of COVID-19, it is not true that the world has never had something of that nature. It has had it before. All right? Now, even when you have problems of corruption today, corruption is not existing for the first time in the world. Corruption has existed before. If you have a problem of LGBTQ, yeah, the issues of homosexuality. For those of you who are Christians and study the Bible, I'm sure you know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. These are things that happened many, many years back. And so you have to understand that if this problem the problem that you're trying to address now, has it ever existed before? If it has existed before, or even if it is not exactly that, has something of that nature ever existed before? So remember, as a debater now, you are entering into what your content of debate is going to look like. I'll show you the pillars of debate, basis of adjudication. I'll show you that as we go forward. So understand then that if these problems have existed before, that time when they existed, how were they solved? Were there initiatives to solve the same? Did those initiatives work? If they worked, do you think they can still work? If they worked and they can now not work within this modern era, then how do you think you can improve leverage on the solution that existed before to put it to a today's standard to solve that particular problem? That means then for a debater who is sharp, you're already now progressing. Okay? You are progressing as a debater. And when you start reasoning that way, then the judge is like, okay, now I have a debate here. Now, if that problem was not solved by that particular solution which was tabled that time, then that solution, do you think it can still be implemented now? But because it failed, chances are very high that your opponents are going to tell us, hey, look, that solution was tried out. And so if something has been tried out and it has not worked, there is a very clear likelihood that it will not work